For more on this, let's bring in Morgan Ortagus, former State Department spokesperson under President Trump. Morgan, great to see you. Obviously, there is a lot of anticipation as to what happens next with this. We had General Keith Kellogg on this program on Friday. I asked him if he believes that we are on the verge of seeing Vladimir Putin invade Ukraine. His answer was yes. So is it only a matter of time? What do you see happening next?
Unfortunately, that's what the intelligence shows. But, Sandra, I think that your reporter, your State Department correspondent, hit the nail on the head when he talked about how Secretary Blinken has prioritized words. There's a lot of tough rhetoric coming from this administration, but unfortunately, the Biden administration prioritizes rhetoric over action. And I think that is the challenging situation here. There is constant threats about what we will do if Russia invades, but there hasn't been any action to actually prevent them. Why are we over a year into this administration without providing offensive weaponry now to the Ukrainians? Why are we looking at things like Belarus, for example? The State Department did a great briefing on this yesterday. We're seeing Russian anti-aircraft equipment and other weaponry potentially going into Belarus right now. So the areas, the countries that are surrounding Ukraine and Russia, they're all under threat, right? This is about more than just Ukraine. And if this administration fails to stop with our allies, right, they have prioritized from the beginning, supposedly, bringing the Germans and the French on board. But if we're unable with our allies to stop this Russian invasion, then what good is the alliance at this point? That
reminds me of Bernard-Henri Levy's piece in the Wall Street Journal this morning. I'm sure you saw it. BHL writing, Putin is waging war on Europe. Do you believe that to be the case? As I believe that is what I just heard from you, that this is about more than just Ukraine.
Well, that's absolutely right. A fantastic piece, by the way, that you referenced. And what's really mind-bogglingly frustrating for me is to see so many Western European countries make themselves energy dependent on the Russians. I mean, listen, there has been a lot of talk about Nord Stream 2. We sanctioned it quite heavily in the Trump administration. Senator Cruz has made this really a focal point of his foreign policy in the Senate. And why are we harping on this? Because I think it's mind-boggling that the Germans and others in Western Europe, to be fair, it's not just the Germans, are not helping themselves as it relates to Russia. In fact, they're making themselves totally energy dependent on Russia. And you're seeing other Eastern European countries that want to stand up to Russia. You're seeing NATO divided, right? We're talking about prioritizing certain countries in NATO and having conversations with the Russians about NATO. It's all, I feel like I'm going in the weeds a little bit, but I just think it's incredibly frustrating that we are trying to stand up to the Russians, and it feels like sometimes we're doing it on our own.
All right, well, I'm sure you heard Secretary Blinken earlier speaking on this, saying that Russia could double their troops on Ukraine's borders. He is warning of a short notice Russian attack. Here's more of what he said, Morgan.
It's not clear what Russia's central demand is or is not. They put a number of things on the table. Some of them are clearly absolute non-starters, like closing NATO's door to new members. Other things, as I said, if it goes to actually, enhancing everyone's security on a reciprocal basis, there are things that we've made clear we can talk about.
I don't know what you take away from that. He continues to promise diplomatic solutions that he says he has put on the table with Russia, but then goes on to say it's not clear what Russia's central demand is or not. So you tell me what you take away from that. And also going back to Benjamin Hall's point about we keep making threats, but Russia keeps escalating. Right. Tie that in with the news conference we're about to see with President Biden this afternoon. And what does that tell us about the way Vladimir Putin views the current administration here?
Well, yes, Sandra, thus far, this has been an epic foreign policy failure for the Biden administration. There's no other way to look around it. Biden and Blinken sent Wendy Sherman, one of their top aides, the Deputy Secretary of State, to try and solve this diplomatically. And that's the problem, is this administration keeps saying, oh, we want to solve this diplomatically. We want to talk through this. Well, clearly the Russians have no interest thus far in solving this diplomatically unless we acquiesce to their incomprehensible demands, like saying that we will will never allow Ukraine, for example, in NATO. I will say, listen, I'm critical of this administration, so I'll give Blinken points. I think it was great that he went to Ukraine. It was important to have that. I was there with Secretary Pompeo, and Secretary Pompeo was there with injured Ukrainian soldiers. One of the most special moments of my time as State Department spokesperson is when an injured Ukrainian soldier pulled his strap, pulled a thing, off of his uniform, and gave it to Secretary Pompeo. And that spoke volumes to me about how the Ukrainians are willing to fight for themselves.
Morgan Ortagus, always good on that. Thank you for the analysis.
Patch.
Yes,
I couldn't think of the
patch.
word, Sandra. The patch. That's
Perfect.
what I was thinking of. Thank
Morgan,
you.
always great. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.